Boom. Welcome, everyone, back to Steelers pregame. We'll have two dumb yinzers here. Mike representing the two dumb yinzers. We don't know where the other dumb
Are you like
yinzer
a
is.
double? Are you a double dumb yinzer now today, or how does that work?
I should be. I should be like the dumb yinzer or some shit like that. Oh, roll with that. Oh man, another amazing pregame show ready to roll here. I'm not drinking this episode like last week. I've decided not to.
Well, that's
So
unfortunate.
we will see how this goes.
Well, while everybody's getting in here, I know we're going to talk about the Steelers in the pregame tonight, but there's a couple things going on while people load up into the live stream. There's some things going on around the league tonight at 8 o'clock. Now, Mike, will you be watching the Steelers versus the Jets? I have two other options for you.
Okay.
Or the Mets versus the Dodgers at 8:08. It is 2-3. Or, and this is probably the one you're going to go with, the Minnesota Lynx versus the New York Liberty, Game 5 of the WNBA Finals.
Oh, I might have to do the Lynx game. Right. It's a championship game. How can you not tune in for the championship game?
Why would they go up against Sunday Night Football? What is the WNBA thinking?
Well, that would imply they're thinking. I would have the game on Tuesday.
Yeah.
It made no sense to put the game on a Sunday night. You're doing your schedule well in advance. You know this is football season. Everyone's going to tune into the NFL. I'd switch it out.
I mean, and then all the baseball fans are going to be watching the Mets and the Dodgers. I mean, you have the New York market, which is the New York Liberty. So you have the Mets. I'm pretty sure people were Mets fans and not Liberty fans. And then you have the LA market, which is a huge West Coast market. So I don't think you're going to get anybody watching this WNBA game, and for good reason.
Yeah, it makes no sense. That league is ran poorly, very, very poorly.
So one more WNBA thing, and then we'll get into the Steelers here. I know that's why everybody's here, but I just wanted to let the live stream fill up here. The WNBA reportedly had record ticket sales, all because of Caitlin Clark, basically. Attendance sales, ticket sales, and they ended up, instead of losing $10 million this year, Mike, they ended up losing $40 million. So, $40 million. The NBA investors are not happy.
No, that math ain't mathin'. Oh man.
Well, do we want to get into? Do you have the injury report in front of you?
I actually do have the injury report in front of me.
All right, that's what I like to start off with, because that way we know who we're going to bat with, right?
Or who do we have that we can use here? So we got let's see, DeMonte Kazee, questionable.
I heard he had like something happen, and I'm pretty sure he's out.
Okay, yeah, it looks like ankle injury. So yeah, he's out. Herbig out. Frazier out. Patterson out. Looks like everyone else is going to be good to go. Dylan Cook out. Roman Wilson, I read that he is going to be out again as well with that hamstring injury. So more or less the same cast of characters the past couple of weeks that have been out are out again. And then out to the Jets, we got Michael Carter. He's out. DJ Reed out. So that secondary is a little banged up, but they're still pretty good.
We need that.
Yeah, Jazz Sarant, questionable. If he plays, I don't think that's going to affect the game at all. And then Ty Conklin, their tight end, he is questionable. Hopefully he's out of the game, because tight ends against this team, like I say, every game. 40 years, I've yet to see us cover a tight end.
Right. I mean, we drafted Polamalu to shore that up, and that still didn't even help, even though he had a great career.
No. Yeah. Go back and watch that Green Bay Super Bowl. My man cannot cover a tight end. Oh.
Now, you know who practiced all week? It rhymes with Levante Adams.
Magically, you leave Las Vegas, you go to New York, your hammy clears up like that. It's Aaron Rodgers has.
It must be the humidity.
Aaron Rodgers has magical, mythical healing abilities that no one knew about.
He
He
might have
lays his
gone into that Zen, whatever he was doing.
football Jesus laying his hands upon Lazarus's hamstring and revived them both. This is very interesting, and the custom cleats already made. This deal was in the works for a long ass time.
Right. And then supposedly, who's this Jabroni Williams we're supposed to get from the Jets next week? They're waiting
Oh,
till after the game to
Mike
talk about it.
Mike Williams. He's God, good receiver out in the the Chargers. Banged up the past couple of years. Actually healthy this year, but for some odd reason cannot find the connection with Aaron Rodgers. If we can get him for a low round pick, I'm doing it. The guy's been a productive receiver when healthy, and he's been healthy this year because he's played limited snaps. And if he gets hurt, he's going to fit right in with the rest of the team.
Right. Our sidelines will be stacked with guys in hoodies and warm ups.
The injury report for the Steelers this year is just I've never seen it this bad.
Before we get into the quarterback situation, which I think we're going to probably go into an in-depth conversation about that, the offensive line I want to talk about because they're going to be the ones protecting them. From left to right, who the heck do we have? I mean, we have the staple Dan Moore Jr. at left tackle, but tell everybody who we have left guard and moving over.
We got Dan Moore, Isaac Seumalo, McCollum at center. Yeah,
okay.
that's covered.
So that's the change this week.
Ryan McCollum, then McCormick at right guard and Broderick Jones back at right tackle. This is not an awe-inspiring center of the offensive line outside of Isaac Seumalo.
Right.
The Jets front four, especially with Quinnen Williams, scares me. That guy can be a game wrecker.
What's this McCollum's deal?
God, just a backup, man. He played
Is he like a practice squad type of player?
I think he played a handful of snaps last year. This is his second season. Yeah, he was a practice squad guy. He did, like I said, he did play a handful of snaps here and there last year, if I remember correctly, because I remember the name. But he filled in well last week when Frazier got hurt down the stretch. But this interior for the Jets is a much better interior D-line than what the Raiders had. And it's going to be interesting to see how well he and McCormick work together. Because, like I said, I can't remember exactly where Quinnen Williams lines up, but if I'm the Jets, I'm flipping them to wherever lining up over McCormick and having force McCormick and McCollum beat you and then take my chances one-on-one with everyone else.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I don't know anything about this McCollum guy. I'm hoping he just does like a serviceable job, like an okay job, like a C job.
That's all they need out of him for these next 2 weeks is just to be serviceable, just to get us through the bye week. Because I think that's when Frazier will come back. Is the Commanders game? I think that's when he'll be back. Because they're taking it week to week. And I think with the injury that he has, once it gets to a certain point, it's going to be, okay, can you handle the pain in play? And this guy played some games last year with a broken leg at West Virginia. This guy's, NCAA wrestler. Those dudes are tough. They're nuts. I think he'll be ready to go in 2 weeks. So McCollum just needs to get through this game and the Giants game, and we'll be fine. And looking ahead to the Giants game, I think they lost one of their start D tackles too. So let's get through this one and next week, and we'll be fine. But this one's going to be a tough test.
Yeah, I mean, this is a 2-4 Jets team that's actually good.
Good, yeah. Like on paper, like this team should be 4-2, 5-1. But man, their quarterback play, Aaron Rodgers has not looked sharp at all this year. But now he's getting his buddy back and he'll start producing better. But he just hasn't looked good at all. Like, especially the last 2 weeks I was watching him, he did not look sharp.
Now, he has plenty of weapons. 2 guys went over 100 yards last week, and then he threw his old pal Devontae in there. What's Joey Porter Jr.'s assignment going to be today? Because usually if there's a good wide receiver on the other team, he goes with them. But whenever there's 3 good receivers, what's his job going to be?
This is a game where I would just say as long as Devontae doesn't line up in the slot, you allow Dante and Joey Porter Jr., whatever side, just stay on your side. I think both of them are playing well enough. You don't need to float around. And like you said, they have a lot of good receivers. Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard is having a pretty good year, and then you add in Devontae Adams to this mix. At this point, I'm just telling those two just cover who's ever on your side because you need Joey Porter to either lock down Wilson or Devontae Adams. So might as well just let whoever lines up over you. That's who you're going to cover. And now if they slip into the slot, okay, you go with them, and we'll let Alan Lazard beat us on the outside, I guess, against James Pierre or Beanie Bishop. That's where I get scared.
Now, yeah, Beanie Bishop, is he going to be able to hold his own?
He played well last week. So maybe he's rounding into form, and today's going to be a big test because whoever he's going to go up against is going to be, I think, the go-to guy because that's who I would target. You know, shit, man.
Yeah,
Like,
and you have Aaron Rodgers, arguably the best quarterback over the past 15 years to contend with. So if Rodgers is on, which you assume he will be, he's probably going to pick on players, like undrafted players like Beanie Bishop versus going after Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I'm not attacking Dante Jackson or Joey Porter if I have to. I'm going to pick on the weak link of that defense. Or you do, double team one of the guys on the outside, and then you slide Joey Porter into like a slot position or Dante into a slot position. You double team Devontae with a backup corner and then a safety. Then that leaves, Porter against Wilson and Dante versus Devontae Adams. Try to do something like that. They have to mix something up. And I don't want to see them playing zone all day. I think Aaron Rodgers will pick that zone defense apart. We've been playing terrible with the zone defense this year.
You know what I like about this format you put me on here today, Mike? I can actually see the board. And let me just be the first to say good morning, Jennifer, and good morning, John. I've never got to say that because I could never see the board. So it was very, very nice to be able to see the board. I appreciate that, Mike.
Oh, you're welcome. I am here to not only service the audience, but also to service you.
Well, Jennifer, she says, good morning. Game day, baby. What sucks, Jennifer, is I love the 1:00 games. We're just Sunday night, Monday night, Sunday afternoon. It is never. When's our next 1:00 game, Mike?
Oh God, it's not for a while. It feels like because I think next week's the Monday night game.
Yes, it is.
When we come back after the bye, the 10th, we have the Commanders.
Okay. Yeah. Is the Commanders at home?
No, it's at DC.
We've got to win these two games because I think that not to look ahead, but I mean the bye week should help getting some players back. But I mean that Washington team is the surprise of the NFL so far this season.
Their defense is suspect. We saw that against Baltimore. That offense might be one of the most legit offenses I've seen in a long time. That little college offense that they're running down there that is putting up some major points. And not many people saw this coming out of Jaden Daniels either. I love seeing it out of him. That team's going to be tough. But if we lose this one, but win against the Giants, I think we're in pretty good situation there. Like you said, man, this Jets team's a good team. They just been finding ways to lose.
Right. John on the board says, is Ryan at another AA meeting? I actually think that he's at a AAA meeting. He's fixing somebody's flat tire right now, I think is what he's doing, John, a AAA meeting.
Ryan being a good Samaritan, I don't see that.
Maybe he's jumping somebody's battery. Some damsel in distress on the parkway.
Oh God, I feel bad
jumping her batteries.
I feel bad for that damsel. The Steeler freak with his Pacific Coast time for the games. That is the best time to watch the games. You wake up and football's on right away, all day long.
Yeah, you can get up at 10 in the morning and start watching football, and then you can watch the late game and be in bed by 10 o'clock.
Yeah. That's why the West Coast is soft.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen. When do we get Cam Sutton back? Does he come back for the Washington game, or is there one more game after that?
Because he's suspended the first 8 games, I believe. So he will be back. Yeah, he'll be back for the Commanders game, and that's going to be huge.
Yeah. Agree.
Oh God,
Right.
Terry Bongshaw, baby, that's what I'm talking about.
Maybe that's what Ryan's doing. I don't know.
It could be. Like, I just want it to be known that I am extremely hungover today, and I came here on time, prepped and ready to go.
Well, I think we need to get one of those trackers on Ryan.
We do.
You know how you guys have that tracker on Derpy and you haven't told him about it yet?
Oh no! Now you just spilled the beans.
That's okay.
Yeah.
He's sulking because the Indians, aka Guardians, lost last night
Oh,
in overtime, 10th inning.
I've never heard anyone refer to extra innings as overtime before.
Yeah, you always have to have it wrong. You can't just say it's extra innings.
No, you can't. No, you got to make people mad. You know. That's how
What
we
do they
roll
call it in soccer? Injury time.
Injury time. Injury time.
Yeah, I basically here's what happened. Okay, and I know I don't want to get off the football topic,
No,
but if you watch the New York Yankees and Cleveland Guardians series, basically all the guys on steroids hit home runs, so the Yankees moved on. That's all that happened.
That's all you need in baseball. I want my baseball players juiced to the gills. I want the best peak performance out of everyone.
The Pirates, I don't think, other than Brian Giles, I don't think the Pirates have ever had a player use the juice. Therefore, they don't ever win 80 games.
Yeah, like maybe they should have kept, Barry. If they could have kept Barry Bonds if they kept a supply of flaxseed oil around for him. Flaxseed oil. He didn't juice; it was all flaxseed oil with Barry Bonds. My man was all natural.
But here's the weird thing: they won't let Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame, but then they'll have Big Papi and A-Rod broadcasting.
Well, like Big Papi made the Hall of Fame, all because, and this is why I hate the sports media. He's buddy with all the media. He's happy-go-lucky, and they overlook it. Like Barry Bonds lost an MVP award because Bob Smizik wouldn't vote for him because he didn't like Barry Bonds. Like sports reporters are the biggest babies around, and F them. But now Barry Lamar Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, they all should be. Pete Rose and all of them.
They should. Like, everyone knew it was going on. That's like, in the 70s, everyone in the NFL was juiced. Everyone knew it.
Yeah, look at the 80s. Everybody in the NBA was on coke. It is what it is.
Baseball, that's kind of like the rumor. That's why
the Mets,
the Cobra from the Pirates, he's not in the Hall of Fame because of the drug scandal. He took the fall for Willie Stargell. That's one of the rumors. They're all doing drugs.
Now,
drugs make everything better, kids.
Speaking of drugs in the NFL, why are so many players hurt?
I don't know.
You'd think with the PEDs, the recovery would be quicker.
Yeah, and these guys keep their bodies healthy, like all year round too. I know people want to say, "Oh, is it the unlimited amount of practice days you have in the preseason?" And OTAs aren't as physical as they used to be. But if you're keeping your body in shape year round, your body's ready to go. So I don't know what it is. It's just a weird.
Does Roman Wilson's personal trainer need fired?
Yes. This guy's never been. I swear he was never injured in college. Now he comes here and he's just injury prone. It's weird. I wonder if a lot of these injuries are happening because these guys are in shape. They're pushing their bodies to the limit week in, week out. Did we finally reach the point of like human body development to where they can't push the physical limit anymore, but they have to keep up, and the bodies are just breaking down
maybe they're a little too big.
Stress. Yeah, they could be. Yeah,
a little too big, a little too fast, and that wear and tear.
Yeah, you see guys with a lot of if they're bigger guys, they have a lot of ligament damage because all the muscle mass and the ligaments can't handle the stress. So it could be a sports science thing. Like the body has reached its max potential, and we're seeing the consequences of it. And just remember, you can't pull fat. That's why I've never had a pulled muscle. Peak physical fitness right here, boys.
Well, you know who is back, and
who's back?
Not too late. Alex Highsmith is back.
Yes.
We really, with all the injuries, we really have nobody over on that side. So I know he has underperformed his contract, but he's at least, a good starter.
Yeah,
worst case scenario, which we haven't had since Herbig went out in the middle of the game
yeah.
a couple weeks back.
Yeah, we saw last week the Raiders ran to that side all but 2 times. They were running to that side, and now he's back there. So now it's going to should theoretically make the Jets game run game more honest. You can't just cheat to one side. Because I think Highsmith is a much better run defender than he is pass rusher. He has that one move, that spin move. It's a deadly spin move, but that feels like that's his go-to move. And when it doesn't work, he doesn't have a backup plan. But I like having him over there. I've always liked him. From his rookie year, like he's improved every single year. But like you said, I think that contract was a bit too much for him because he had that one good year at the sacks, and Watt got hurt, and then his numbers plummeted. But he's a steadying influence on that defense because he can play the run, he can play the pass, best and drop into coverage too. So he's a nice complete linebacker. Doesn't do everything at the high level, but he's going to be a stabilizing force on that other side. Now the run game for the Jets, they can't pick that side, and we saw what T.J. Watt's doing against the run this year. I'm surprised how well he's playing against the run for the most part, especially.
Well, I'll be the judge of that. Well, not this PFF garbage.
I know, right?
He's like number one on PFF.
They ran to his side. The 2 times they ran to his side, he had 2 forced fumbles. I'm like, my God, you might want to block that guy, but.
Or not let him punch the ball.
Oh my God, that was just beautiful. Remember who was it? Did he try that last year, or him or Cam? They punched someone right in the dick.
It was TJ Watt.
It was TJ Watt. Yeah, he tried to murder him.
Well, you should probably be wearing a cup or something. I don't know.
Something. Hey, you know what? It's football. These things happen.
All right, so we got Alex Highsmith back. What about our defensive line? That's probably been the one thing you've talked about since the summer. What's that defensive line going to do against the Jets here?
If they can play the way they have been playing in second half of games, where they just take over, it's going to neutralize that run game because the Jets, I think they average 87 yards a game. I think that's 30th. In that range. It's down low. It's one of the worst in the league, maybe 31st. And that I'm not impressed by the Jets O-line at all. I think Cam Hayward, this should be a Cam Hayward special game. He should be able to dominate up the middle. If Ogunjobi can do his normal steady game, and I want more out of Keanu Benton. I think he's now is the weak link of this line. I thought he was going to be the focal point of the D line, and he's been a huge disappointment. Whereas Cam Hayward, in my eyes, has been a revelation. I think he's playing the way he thinks he's been playing for the past couple of years. He's playing at an extremely high level, very disruptive these past couple of weeks, and I'm looking for more of the same. I think him and Ogunjobi can dominate, and if Keanu Benton can just be a space eater, they're gonna control that line. That's gonna free up these linebackers. We saw last week when they were able to control that line. Look who was flying around making plays. Patrick Queen was all over the place because
that's his best game so far as a Steeler.
Yeah, because he had the time and the space. Guys weren't getting to the second level to get on him. So.
And he was getting to the sidelines too. I mean, he's fast from sideline to sideline. I was impressed last week.
Yeah, I wonder if it wasn't a combination of the way the D line's playing, and finally, okay, he's played 6 games in this system now with everyone. Is he finally comfortable? It's a new team, new environment. Yeah, you have
like not thinking and just reacting.
He's just reacting to what he's doing, and I'm loving it the way he's playing. But I think this D line should be able to dominate our O line.
All right, I'm trying to read the board here.
Yeah,
so Jennifer Washington, is that like Washington D.C. Jennifer? I assume
that was about like who was after, like where the game was.
Oh,
when we talked a while ago about that.
I'm like, where's she at? I thought we were still talking about the times. Okay,
we're backed up there, but yeah, attacking the Jets secondary, not saucy because they are injured, they are banged up, like she said. I think that would be a good game plan on the Steelers' offense. And then John's saying about the
remember when the Cowboys in Super Bowl 30 had like the first all offensive line of 300-pounders
Yeah,
or more,
yeah.
and now that's like linebackers are like flying around 300 pounds and
Well,
running 4.6 40s,
well, remember back in the day, Levon Kirkland as a middle linebacker was like 6 foot 260 and running down wide receivers. Like the freak Javon Curse. These guys, you can't be that big, that fast, and not expect injuries.
Right.
But yeah, I do love how the Jets defense is bagged up. That secondary is really good too. They don't give up a lot of yardage and they don't give up a lot of points. I think they're number 2 in scoring defense, like 18 points a game.
I was checking my phone to see if Ryan messaged me back or anything. If he got that lady's battery all hooked up or what. He was connecting the positive to the positive and the negative to the negative with her.
Not putting on the black and yeah.
His hair will be all like, his beard will be like.
He'd be looking like Marv from Home Alone when he was electrocuted. Yeah, the Jets secondaries, 148 passing yards a game. That's second best in the NFL. Tennessee somehow is number 1.
Who's the quarterback down in Tennessee now?
Mason Rudolph is getting the start today.
That's what I thought.
Will Levis is injured.
Yeah. Mentally injured.
Yeah, that guy sucks. He's terrible.
Well, I mean, I don't know. The elephant in the room, we might as well start talking about it, right?
Yeah, and that leads perfectly into this the comment.
So number 2 is on the bench, and number 3 is in the starting lineup, apparently.
Yeah.
What do you think of? First, we'll talk about Mike Tomlin not wanting to tell anybody, and then that smart wide receiver we have, George Pickens, said this is Russell Wilson's first start.
Yeah, it's probably like a Mike Tomlin classic. No one tell anyone. I know George is going to tell anyone. I'll let him take the heat. Let him announce it. Just.
Do you remember like the 90s sitcoms where like there was always that one of the daughters or sons like couldn't keep the secret and you knew it was going to get out?
That's George.
Yeah, George.
I love it.
He didn't even know he let it out either.
Yeah, that's the thing with George. It doesn't seem malicious. He was just honestly answering a question, and that's why I love. Like George frustrates me that he does something like this, and you're just like, oh, man, that's George. That's just who he is. He's not all there, but in a good way sometimes. And I think that was just an honest mistake. And everyone knew Russell was going to start once he was healthy. He's been listed as the starter since training camp. Was it any surprise?
No. I mean, when you brought him in, you told him he was going to start. You didn't say he was going to compete. Like otherwise, he would have never came. And you don't get somebody like that for $1 million and $100,000 or whatever the heck it was, without promising him the world. So now Mike Tomlin, to his word, and to be honest with you, I mean, I've never been a big Justin Fields fan, but him saying that he didn't play well enough to be the starter, I mean, that's like, I'm very impressed with that. Him, at least admitting that.
Yeah, the level of maturity that showed, and self-awareness, and putting oneself above the team, is you don't see that a lot in sports. And for him to do that's just the way this kid has grown up in the NFL. Does he say that in Chicago? But he comes here and has grown up, been around like an actual pro organization. You like to see it. And it makes you just want to root for that guy even more. But he's right. You go back, you watch some of the film. He's making great plays with his legs. And when he has time in the pocket, though, there's guys that he's missing. Where you can see guys are getting open in the scheme, and he's just not processing it fast enough. And that's what separates the starters from backups in the NFL, is that it really is a split second. I know it's a cliche, but a lot of guys in the league talk about it. All these quarterbacks can all make the same throws, same plays, but it's how fast you can read it. And right now, he's just off just that little bit, and we're missing plays downfield with his arm. Now, is Russ going to be able to see them? That's going to be a whole nother story, because the middle of the field is not his strong suit.
No, not since he's been a little less mobile. Back in his early days at Seattle, they used to move the pocket for him to be able to get throwing lanes. I remember that was the one thing. Antonio Gates was asked, what's the difference between Drew Brees throwing to you and, what the heck's his name? I can't even think of his name.
Ryan
The
Leaf.
Charger. No,
Not Ryan Leaf. Philip Rivers.
Philip Rivers. Yes, I was like Ryan Leaf.
Took me a second.
But yeah, Philip. So and Antonio Gates says, well, I could actually see the ball come out of Phillips Rivers' arm. Like I could actually see his arm throwing the ball, and I knew it was coming. He said, with Drew Brees, it was there over the linemen's heads.
Yeah, that's how it is with Russ. He's a small dude. He's like what, 5'11"? If that.
I think he's like 5'9.5", but I think they like boost it up. You know how like the NBA, you're always like an inch and a half, 2 inches taller than you really are.
Yeah. Like, doesn't everyone add a couple inches? I'm talking about height, you pervert. But no, like.
Ryan has not talked to a woman other than the cashier in 2 years. Right on point, John. Right on. Like your timing was impeccable there.
It was too, but no, I want to see what Russ can do. Can he hit those guys that Justin isn't? And now, if he can't hit those guys, I think you go back to Fields, just because he can do more with his legs. And it's going to be people are going to say, I'm already reading stuff like, oh, if they lose, the discourse is going to be terrible because Russ. If they don't win, it's going to be because of Russ. What if Russ goes out and throws for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, and the team loses? Is it going to be, oh, you should have left Fields in because when he was playing, we won? The narrative is going to be interesting after this game, no matter the outcome. It's going to be interesting. But it feels like a must-win game for Tomlin. Like, do you think he did this to put pressure on himself and the team? Like,
I think he's an idiot. I think he literally has no idea what he's doing, and he lucked into a great situation in life, and he's just riding it out. And he's too dumb to know that he's not smart enough to be an NFL head coach. But
he had winning seasons with Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges.
Yeah, but he didn't play the game. He didn't make the throw. He didn't intercept the ball.
Yeah, but he had to manage that mess and got that team to a 500 record and almost made it back.
All right. We won't talk about all of his number 1 draft picks over the last 10 years.
Kevin Colbert. Remember, the good picks were Kevin Colbert's. The bad picks were Mike Tomlin picks.
Well, I have a hard time thinking the Steelers can win tonight. There's a couple things going for them. It's at home. It's in prime time, and I know they lost to the Cowboys in one of those games, but that came down to the final play. But Mike Tomlin usually shines in these situations, and there's going to be a special guest in the audience. Your buddy Mike, Donald Trump, will be there. I believe he's going to be in the Thomas Tull box, which is where Elon Musk was. Thomas Tull. I think he's the second biggest owner of the Steelers behind the Rooneys.
Yeah.
So people would know him from the Dark Knight movies and the Hangover. That Mike has today. He produced all those movies. He was a big wig out in California. He sold all of his everything he owned out in California. Moved back to, I believe, Swickley. His house is ridiculous. At one point in time before the 2020 pandemic, he was going to cash out of the Steelers and force out Bob Nutting and buy the Pirates. That was his goal pre-COVID, and then COVID kind of just threw a whole wrinkle in that whole thing. So unfortunately, we're still stuck with Nutting. So, but yeah, Thomas Tull, Donald Trump will be there, so there'll be a little bit of TV on there. I bet you they show Donald Trump less than they show Taylor Swift at Kansas City games.
I hope so. I want to see more Taylor Swift. She's a bit more photogenic than the former president. A bit more photogenic.
Let me ask you this: did you see Antonio Brown and Donald Trump? Why was Antonio Brown like hugging him?
He loves him.
I mean, that's fair, but it was
their own. But oh man, it was.
He had both arms around him.
Yeah.
And Trump was like, kind of like, all right, take the picture. Let's get this over with. This guy might take his shirt off and say he's quitting the team or something.
You never know. Halfway through the rally, I was expecting him to start taking all of his stuff off and walk away.
Or throw a towel to Trump from the balcony.
Yeah, like you never know with AB. What was he going to do? I was literally expecting him to walk out halfway through like the buck. Like he was.
I thought he was going to say something completely stupid like he normally does, and that would be hilarious.
That would have been epic, by the way. My stupid camera.
Jen is happy for Mason. We all are. I'm
I
happy
love
for Mason
Mason.
Rudolph. Like I'm happy for every ex-Pirate that goes on somewhere and does well, or like a Marc-Andre Fleury that goes
Yeah.
on and does well somewhere else. So yeah, way to go, Mason. I hope you prove the Steelers organization wrong, that you should have been the starter since Ben retired. Should have never had this Mitch Trubisky nonsense. Should have never had this Kenny Pickett nonsense. And we might be in a better position right now. We might be in a worse position, but you
Yeah.
never know.
The year the COVID year when he had to fill in short notice when Ben was out, when the NFL moved the schedule around for every other team, but the Steelers quarterback got sick. Oh, you got to play with your backup. He played well. He should have won that game, but for fumbles from Deontay Johnson and Pat Frymuth. He had that game won against the Lions. And then last year he played so well. He should have been named the starter. He should have been given a contract to compete. Bring in, if you had him and Russ in here competing, I thought that would have been a much better quarterback room than Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, because you have two guys that two different styles of offense you can run with Russ and Mason. Where Fields and Rush kind of run a similar offense.
They showed. I was watching a highlight, I guess, and it was Russell Wilson like scrambling all over the field and using his legs to get a first down. I guess everybody was saying like he can move like Justin Fields, but that had to have been from like 1822 when he was young.
1822. But yeah. I was watching some highlights from him, and there people were showing the from the Seahawks. I'm like, we're not getting that Russ. We're getting the last 2 years in Denver Russ. His first year in Denver, he was trash. Last year, he was all right, but the team around him wasn't good. They're playing from behind a lot. So, are those stats misleading or not? It's hard to tell. I'll just be happy if we can eke out a win. If it's more of the same style of offense, if we eke out another 3-point win, you might as well just play Fields the rest of the way.
Here's some dangerous stuff, and I want to get back to the board here in a second. But Russell Wilson, I believe, led the league last year in passes behind the line of scrimmage, and he was like second with passes 5 yards and under.
Yeah.
So I feel like the first half, that's all we're going to see. He's going to play it safe.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the dink and dunk. Let's punt, field position, let our defense do its thing. And then I think in the second half, we'll see Russell Wilson have to maybe move the ball and have to do some things, and we'll see what happens then.
Yeah. Because he can still make the throws, but like you said, he's become more and more conservative as his career's gone on. And
last year he had 20 red zone touchdowns to 1 interception.
Yeah.
If we can get into field goal range and actually score touchdowns instead of Chris Boswell's leg getting worn out, I mean, his usage rate is way up. Somebody needs to start load managing Boswell's leg kicking.
He's going to be dead by the second half. He's going to be over. We need Boz healthy. He's our MVP.
Yes, Milani is hot, John. I agree. I concur. I don't think she'll be with him, but she should just show up. He doesn't even have to.
This is her own booth. In Russ's career, he's only had 5 seasons with double-digit interceptions, and the most was 13. And that year, he threw for 4,200 yards, 40 touchdowns. He's always been an effective quarterback in the NFL. So, if
Paranormal, let's go Steelers. Yeah. Oh, Mike, here's one thing. Do you remember the movie, the scene in Rocky IV, okay, when Apollo Creed's trainer, who was, I guess, the assistant trainer to Rocky in Rocky IV, but in the original, and he's yelling, "Throw in the damn towel." Do you remember that scene? This is before Apollo Creed takes that final blow and gets killed. I feel like I'm going to be screaming tonight, "Throw the damn ball" to Russell Wilson. He holds onto the ball. He throws these short passes. He takes a lot of sacks. I feel like I'm going to be yelling and throw in the damn ball.
Yeah. And with the O-line, like you don't know what pass protection you're getting from play to play. Like, you don't know if you're going to have time,
especially from Broderick Jones.
Yeah, the play last week when he just stood up and walked 2 steps forward and looked around on the pass play. Max Crosby's right there, bro. You might want to hit him. Luckily, Fields is able to run. But yeah, the O-line, you don't know what you're getting from play to play for in the pass protection. It's hard for a quarterback to get the rhythm. So I think you're going to right. I think it are going to be a lot of quick throws.
Just a quick update with 5 minutes and 42 seconds left in the game over in London. The battle of the 1-5 New England Patriots and the 1-5 Jacksonville Jaguars. The Patriots just scored to make it. I want to say they're going to go. What are they down here? 9. So they're probably going to kick the extra point here to make it an 8-point game. We'll see what happens here. But yeah, did you see the meme? It was like it had a picture of the 1-5 Patriots and the 1-5 Jaguars, and says, "This is the worst thing we've done to England since 1776."
Jesus. Who's playing in the Germany game? People are like, this is the Germany's final act of reparations for World War II.
Oh God!
They got a stinker going up for Germany for the Germany.
Is that happening today too?
No, I forget when that one happened.
Next week. All right, yeah, I have to look that up.
Week, yeah.
So what? We've had how many games? We had the one in Brazil.
Yeah.
Then we've had at least 2 in London. There's the Germany game. Are there any other? What do you think? Like, just you're the commissioner of the NFL. What are they thinking?
They're trying to grow the game. I get it. These London games are popular. The York games are popular. They really do. They want a team in London so bad. They want it. They want it so bad, and that's where you're seeing all these games. Like I hate them because like your home team, you're losing out. You're on revenue. You're losing out on the game for your fans. Like I'd be pissed if I had a chance to go to a Steeler game and it's like, oh, he got one less home game this year because they're playing over in jolly old England. I'd be pissed if my team had to do that.
Yeah, there's some sort of compensation that happens, or they just kind of say, hey, you got to take the loss here and there because we're going to try to grow the game. In 10 years, you're going to be, making X amount more than, you gave up. So I guess Jen said they went for 2 and didn't get it. So it's 16-25 with 4:50 left. Jones was run blocking on a pass play and touched no one. Yes, that's exactly what happened. He is so lost, I call him Boondock Jones. John, he's a bust. He's an absolute bust. I was so excited when they traded up and got him, and he's completely awful.
Yeah, it's frustrating because we saw what he could do. Those 9 games that he played as a rookie, he made that O-line work so well in the second half. His run blocking, his pulling, his pass blocking wasn't the best, but this year he does. You hit someone in front of you if you don't know the play. This is, there's something wrong.
Do something, even if it's wrong.
Do it if it's even wrong. All the times I played sports when I was younger, as long as you did something, okay. Why'd you do it? Well, I didn't know what to do. I hit this guy. Okay, at least you did something. Yeah, and I don't want to hear he's playing on a different side, blah, blah, blah. That's all hogwash. It's still the same play. It's still football. You hit the guy in front of you. This isn't rocket appliances. Come on.
Now, your boy, Pat Fryermuth, and my boy, Van Jefferson, what does this mean with having Russell Wilson running the offense? Will these guys' numbers go up? Will their productivity go up? Will their catches go up? Will their yardage go up? Will their value to the team go up is what I'm saying, because it seems like I don't think, those plays where Fields would take off running, more so I think Wilson's going to be looking for one of these 2 guys to bail him out. Let's say if Pickens is doubled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking for more out of those 2. Like Pat Fry, it feels like the past couple of weeks he's been getting more and more involved in the offense. He had touchdown last week in the past game. So I'm looking for more out of him. He only has 22 catches on 26 targets. With Russell here, those numbers are going to increase exponentially. I think Van's numbers are going to go up. I look for even Calvin Austin to be more involved, because in some of those plays that were broken down online, you can see Calvin Austin running free down the field, and Fields not hitting him. I look for those 3 to have potentially. Theoretically, on paper, they should improve with having Russ out there, because he can read defense much faster than Fields can.
If I'm a receiver and they send me over the middle with Wilson as the quarterback, I'm going to be so pissed at that route. Like, why? I'm not going to, even if I get open, he's not going to see me.
Well, you're not going to get hit at least going across the middle. You're going to be you're going to. That's the safe play to go across the middle with him because you're not going to get your head blown off.
Who was it? Was it Deshaun Watson this past week that was saying that he's not going to take off running because he's not taking any hits?
Yeah, that was yeah. It was yeah. He said that I think
I
about
mean,
2
I'm
weeks ago.
paraphrasing, but that was the
Yeah,
gist.
if I'm a quarterback. I'm not a running back. I'm not. I'm not running and getting hit. Like, oh, wow, way to take one for the team. Way to be a team player. Oh, Connor Hayward.
Uh, if
Like
he's the
those
focal
two.
point of our offense, like it's a great like once or
Yeah,
twice a
I
game
love
that
it.
you trick
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah. Last week kind of soured me on him. I like Connor Hayward because he's sneaky athletic. He looks like a jolly fat guy out there, and he can has that ability, like you said, to make a big play here and there. And if they can use him, awesome. But I for me, he's my fifth, sixth, seventh option. You
Hey,
know?
speaking of Watt's little brother, does he play anymore? Because
No, he retired.
okay, so he probably got like the X amount of seasons in to get
Oh yeah, he got his pension. I think
a
he got
pension, and
his 4 years in playing time. Yeah, he's good.
so that was like the deal the Steelers made. Hey, we're going to get him enough
Well,
playing time to get his pension, and there you go, TJ.
well,
That's your favor.
well. He was also before he came to the Steelers was one of the better special teams players in the NFL. Then he comes here and can't play special teams. It's like every time we get a punt returner. Oh, they were great. They've been great. They've had all pro seasons. And they come here and they can't return a kick to save their life. Like who was that guy? Switcher, the one who stepped out of bounds, touched the ball, and all that. All these stupid plays. Like these guys were all pros, and they come here and they can't do special teams.
Well,
I get mad every time we bring in a white guy who's supposed to be a special player because they suck. It's the truth. Bryan Switcher, he had a good year. He comes here, he can't play. Derek Watt had some good special teams plays. Come here, can't play special teams.
I think Derek Watt dropped one pass the entire time he was a Steeler, and I think it was his last pass. He had like some ridiculous record of like never dropping a ball.
But he comes here and he drops the ball. Maybe I should have drank. I could have had a better rant.
The Patriots have the ball with 4 minutes to go. They're on their own 12. I don't know. Jen will probably give us the update. She's quicker than what I have going on, so we'll see if the Patriots make it interesting. Like if you were England and the New England Patriots were there, wouldn't you like boo them just because?
I
Like
would.
F those
I would.
Patriots. They're not
I,
England. They're not
I
New England.
yeah. I'd be having flashbacks to 1776. I'd be asking,
Yeah,
where
like
the hell's my tea? Where's my tea, New England?
yeah, like the Jaguars. That's not offensive to like people
No,
from London, but
no.
New England and the
New England,
Patriots, the ones that had the Boston Tea Party.
and they got the
That's That's what
their
they should
logo.
change their name to when they go over to New England, like the Boston Tea Party or something.
There you that have like throwback unis to make it look like they're dressed up like Minutemen and shit. Hell
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Robert Kraft should have flew out Meghan Markle and was it Henry, whatever one's no longer the prince. Bring them out to his box. Yeah, just rub it into their face.
I thought Kraft was with Deshaun Watson at the local
Allegedly,
massage
allegedly,
parlor.
allegedly. Robert Kraft, those charges were dismissed.
Well, when you have that much money, I guess you
Oh,
can
you
pay
make
it all
anything
off.
disappear. Yeah.
Right. All right. So what do we have left? Like 15 minutes?
We got about like 11 minutes left.
11 minutes left. Why don't we get into the X's and O's of the game? How do you see this game going in the first half?
I see the offense sputtering. That's just been a theme. We have yet to come out crisp. I think last week we had a drive that looked pretty good, and then we stalled for a field goal. I think it's going to be more of the same. It's going to be a struggle on offense. Defense, I can see the Jets jumping out to a 7-point lead quick, and they're going to be hyped up, amped up, ready to go. Rodgers and Devontae will want to put on a show. And then I think after that, the Steelers' defense settles down, like always. Then that offense, it's going to, like you said, I think that second half, the offense is going to explode because we're going to be forced to throw downfield.
Do you think we're going to be down like 10 or 7 or 3 at half? Is that what you're kind of predicting?
I can see down by 3 to 7 at at home at half. Yeah, I can see that, and I can see in the team making a second half comeback and winning the game. But right now, I'm leaning towards it's going to be the Jets. It's going to be like a 3-point game. Both defenses are going to be tight. It's going to be tough to score points, but I think Aaron Rodgers just finds a way to get a victory at the end of the game.
Yeah. What's the weather supposed to be like? I know it's nice out right now. Is there any like wind or anything that might affect the kicking? Or
Let me pull this up real quick.
while
Right
you're
here.
doing that, Jen says they showed a picture. New England has 6 championships and Old England has 1. Okay. Hey Jen, who's playing and is it in Berlin or is it somewhere else?
It's the Giants and the Panthers, and I think it was Berlin.
Remember they had that wall? Didn't let people in or out. Like that was in my lifetime.
Yeah. I remember watching it being torn down before with and then Hasselhoff showed up and everything. Game time weather's gonna be 65.
65. Well,
65. I don't see any weird winds or anything like that. So it's gonna be nice, calm weather.
if you're a ticket holder, this is one that you want to go to. You know, it's probably one of the last like warm games to go to.
And you're gonna be able to see 2 future Hall of Famers duke it out.
Yeah, I mean,
what
if somebody wins like 13-10? I remember watching these 2 Hall of Famers go at it. It was a 10-13 battle.
Oh, what year was that, Grandpa? Was that in the 70s? Nah, that was 2024.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's going to be a tight one, and it's in Munich. Oh, that's even better.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
That's even better in Munich. They should put the game in Nuremberg.
I couldn't pick out Munich on a map. I could tell you that.
No, neither could I.
I'm gonna have to look it up. Yeah. Okay, so what are we doing here? You will struggle and be reserved. It will be open up playbook and when necessary. In other words, typical Steelers. You know, John, I would love to argue against you, but we just know you're right.
like if they don't trust Russ to throw the ball, they're not going to trust any quarterback to throw the ball. Because, like I said, this guy is historically very good, with low turnovers. He's very good at ball security. If you're not going to let this guy air out the offense, you're not going to let anyone air out the offense.
Remember when they didn't let Ben audible?
Oh, yeah. And Ben would do it anyway.
He'd do it audible before the play.
Yeah, he just didn't care. Do you remember his last 2 years here, how bad the media thought he was holding this team back, and he was holding Matt Canada back. I remember listening to 93.7 The Fan. They were like, Ben Roethlisberger is holding this team back. We can't run the offense the way it needs to be ran. We need to get a real quarterback in here for Matt Canada. Then Ben retires, and then it's like, oh, Matt Canada sucks. I just remember that because
I don't know. It's an organization that's just.
It is it's the way.
I don't know what they're doing.
The team he wants, to play that conservative 70s football because that's what his dad and grandpa ran. It's not going to work. We won 2 Super Bowls behind the arm of Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah, we ran the ball up, but we would pass that first half. I remember in the Cowher era, you would pass 60% of the time in the first half. In the second half, you ran the ball 80% of the time because you got the lead.
Didn't Ben throw for 600 yards a couple times? Something ridiculous.
He had back-to-back 500-yard games. Yeah, Ben.
Could you imagine that?
Today, but I get excited when we break 200 yards passing. I don't even dream of 500 yards. That's never going to happen with the Steelers offense again, unless we get someone like a Ben Roethlisberger at quarterback. And if you're not going to let Russ air it out, why even play him?
Who's the quarterback right now of Miami of Ohio?
We need to find someone quick.
Yeah, is there anybody in the MAC we could find? Byron Leftwich.
No. They're going to get Eli Holstein when he becomes draft eligible. He's right next door. Bring him right over.
Oh, geez.
I'm calling it right now. They're going to make a trade for Eli Holstein when he becomes available for the draft.
Well, before we give our picks here, there's one thing we didn't talk about. I don't think. The running back situation. What do you like out of Harris after last week? I mean, what did he have? He had 80 some yards after the first contact.
After first contact, he was just bowling people over, making them miss. I'm expecting big things out of Najee this week. Well, their rush defense, because the Jets are giving up 124 yards on the ground. Najee should be able to
Get at
get
least
some.
80 or so.
Yeah, he should be able to. And if he runs the way he did, those little cuts that he was making people miss on, we haven't seen that from Najee consistently. So I'm looking for 100 yards out of Najee. I'm looking for him to demoralize this team if everything goes well.
John, I think Ryan is wet already. It is AAA meeting.
My nipples are hard thinking about a 300-yard game.
Right. I don't see that. Maybe Wilson will surprise us. I don't know if it's going to be today. Next week should be an easier matchup, and then you have the bye week. So if he can get 2 weeks under his belt, maybe we can come out and move the ball against Washington. But I'm not expecting it, like you said, Mike, especially this first half. I think it's going to be a lot of punts, a lot of checkdowns, some sloppy play.
Yeah, I just have a feeling the Jets, like Ryan was saying all this week, like they're on a 3-game losing streak. They just traded for Devontae Adams. They're going to be coming out firing on all cylinders because they need a win, especially after there's no one left to blame but Aaron Rodgers, and pressure's going to be on him, and he plays well in those situations. So I think it's going to be a tough game, a tougher game than people think, and I people want to say it's going to come down to Russell Wilson. I think the game's going to come down to the Steelers' defense matching what their offense, or being able to match up well against the Jets' offense. They're going to have to win the game. It sucks, but they're the highest paid defense in the league. We're going to have to get defensive points to win this game.
My hopes, and I thought this a couple years ago, and I guess I was way wrong. My hopes were that Aaron Rodgers is just done.
Yeah.
You lose maybe 5 mile an hour off of that fastball that he throws. Something. You lose 3 yards on the deep ball. Something like little things like that can just make you go from an elite quarterback to you're done. And hopefully I'm right. Hopefully he's done. Hopefully, we pick him off a few times today. Hopefully Watt and Highsmith and company get to him all game and make it miserable for him. I want to see him bitching and complaining at his offensive line. I want to see him yelling over on the sideline. I want him yelling at the coach. I want in Aaron Rodgers' head all game long. Might as well start off in the first quarter with that. And hopefully, Harris can move the ball on the ground, because I don't think, like you said, with Russ is going to be a little rusty. I mean,
he's
that's the bottom line.
And we saw that in the first preseason game. Russ looked rusty and lost. Then he came back in the second preseason game, moved the ball well, but that was against backups. That's the last accident he's had since week 15, week 14 of last year. But what I want to see on the Steelers defense, we don't blitz a lot. We get just pressure off just from 4 guys. Maybe wrinkle in some inside blitzes. Stunt some of the outside backers to the inside. Try to rush him up the middle to force him to run to the outside, into Watt, into Highsmith. Dial up some exotic blitzes that we haven't ran in the past couple of years.
I'm not quite sure what Jen's referring
I can't remember.
But I think I know what you're talking about, Jennifer, and that's funny. It's very funny.
Smack Rodgers or smack, yeah. I want to see Aaron Rodgers. Oh my God, Aaron Rodgers get beat the F down. I want him looking more like a derelict than he already does.
All right, Mike, what do we got time left? Because I'd like to get in our...
We got about a minute.
All right, everybody, put up your scores on the board. We've got about a minute left. So Mike and I are both in agreement. This first half is going to be sloppy. Hopefully the Jets don't score too much in the first half. Let the defense get going, and then hopefully the offense starts clicking a little bit, enough to pull out a win. The over-under for this game is 38.5, and the Jets are somehow 2-4 on the road in prime time and 1.5-point favorites.
Aaron Rodgers, baby. It's Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. I think that's why the line moved. People are thinking Aaron Rodgers is going to dominate this game, and
Aaron.
I like it. But yeah, no, I got this score being tight. I have it Jets 17, Steelers 14. I think it's gonna be like
Jets
that.
17, Steelers 14. So you're taking the under.
Yeah. I've been bouncing around all week. I think at one point I had the Steelers winning by that same margin. I just think it's going to be a tight game.
I feel like I'm almost identical to you. I have the Steelers 17, the Jets 20.
Yeah,
I like the under. It's going to be close to the over-under. It's going to be within that field goal. It could be 17-17. We need to stop or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be 20-17. I think the Jets are going to win. I hope I'm wrong.
Me too. I hope I'm wrong too. I don't think it's going to be like a bad performance. I think it's just going to be a good defensive game. I think both defenses are playing well, and it's the offense. So that's going to make the offense look bad. It's like both defenses are playing well. It's going to be an ugly game. I hope we win. I do. I hope we win, but I just have that feeling right now that the Jets.
What is the immaculate intervention? Is that on Ryan or is that on the game tonight?
There we go. There we go. He fixed it. My man knows what's going on.
No. I think it was right the first time. Field of Steel.
Jen, I hope that's the final. I hope it is 17-13.
I'm with Jen. Yeah, Jen, we hope you're right and we're wrong. You're good looking. We're ugly. You're rich. We're poor.
You speak for yourself. I am beautiful.
Hey, as long as your mom loves you.
Hey, that's the reason they call me Big Sexy, okay?
All right. Well, is there anything else you have, Mike?
I got nothing else other than I hope the Steelers win. I hope I'm wrong. Here we go, Steelers.
Jacksonville puts up 32. They win 32-16, assuming this 25 seconds runs out the clock. Jennifer gave us that update. And the next one's Penthouse Forum. Handyman Ryan. Jump start. Hold on. I'm going to screenshot that, John. Send it over to
that
him.
is great. Oh, my God.
Well, I don't know. Here was my thoughts moving forward, Mike, and you tell me. I know you're probably busy during the games, but I was thinking in the future, once we get my live link hooked up and we figure out all that madness, that at halftime of Steelers games, I would like to do like a 5-minute live real quick and just go over quick the first half. I don't know if that's something you'd be interested in doing or not.
I'll have to think about it because I was actually thinking about doing like a live stream of the game. I was going to think about doing that tonight. I'm waffling 50-50 on it. So if I do a live stream, and I'll send you over a link and we can hop on and do a join on the halftime or join in the live stream. I don't know if I'm doing that, but I'm thinking about live streaming while the game is going on and talking, having like a little watch party tonight. So just keep an eye out on the channel. It's not a promise.
Well, definitely send that, especially for like a Sunday night game. That's cool,
Yeah. Like I said, I'm a little.
How do you stay up that late? Don't you work for like the late shift?
Yeah, this is right now. My weekends run the Sunday, Monday. So
okay.
Yeah. So I will be up ready to go for the game, but I don't know if I'm doing it. I'm not feeling very well at the moment. But yeah, keep an eye out for the channel. So yes, make sure you like, subscribe, and have the notifications on to check out, see if there will be a watch party tonight or not.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll check out the watch party if Mike decides to do that. Yeah. We'll see if he has a couple beers or not and decides not to do it.
And this is how I'll look for the show.
Looking good. All right. Make sure you jump over to One Man's Opinion on Sports. Yes. Jump on my YouTube page there. I've got a lot of content going out. I think I just hit like 29,000 views or something here in the last 4 weeks. So the channel's going well. So I appreciate everybody. I hit over 100 subscribers. So the next one up is, I guess, 200. So
nice.
Please go over there, like, subscribe. Yeah. I got to get up into the thousands so that we can have contact going out to more people.
Yeah.
John says he's in. Jennifer's on vacation. All right. Well.
All right, everyone. Steelers game tonight. Let's go.
Yeah, hopefully Mike and Bryan are wrong. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate everybody on the board, everybody listening. And Derpy and Ryan out there in the world, whatever you guys are up to, I hope you guys aren't behind bars.
I hope so too. All right, everyone.